What is up, our friends in film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching and or listening? We appreciate you being here and giving us just a little bit of your time. We are, of course, the harsh truth, and as always, I am obviously not Frank. He's probably busy right now. I realized I texted him about 2 minutes ago. He's busy right now over on American Werewolf in New Jersey's channel. They're going over retrospective of the works of Robert Redford, who recently passed away. So um, I'm not going to tell you who to watch. If you're here, you're here. If you're over there, well, you're not going to hear this anyway. So screw you. But check them out. Like I said, check out Werewolf. Check out the rest of the people that we have in the description. There's some good stuff down there. But here with me tonight, since Tex is also busy doing adult things, and I know I should clarify by that with him, he's doing job things. So he's kind of busy tonight. But here with me to do this movie is, of course, the better half of all of my shenanigans. Would be my wife, Ten Septim. So how are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good, living life, the normal things. I'm pretty excited. Tomorrow's my birthday, so yay. We're not going to talk about how old I'm turning, but tomorrow is my birthday, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine why I picked this movie for today. Obviously, it just kind of hit me on like Monday or Tuesday. I was like, "Well, what's going on this weekend?" I was like, "Oh, it's your birthday." And my first thought with birthday was, "Oh, happy Death Day." You know what? We haven't done that, so why not? And also, it holds kind of a special place for you and me. And even though, again, I've now for the third time reiterated, I'm sorry, I don't remember when movies come out. Apparently, even though I do. But this was one of the first movies that we did watch together. So with I think Halloween 2018 actually being the first movie date we had, which that would have been my segue in the text, but unfortunately he's not here, so he ruined my segue. I just want you to know that, text. But that's okay. That's always good as always. Have my mom in here first and not Casey, so that's always a good day. It's a good day. So, like I said, where's the thumbnail? We are, of course, doing Happy Death Day. Happy Death Day is a 2017 American black comedy slasher film directed by Christopher Landon and written by Scott Lobdell. Lobdell? I don't know. I'm not good with names. It stars Jessica Rothe and Israel Broussard. The film follows a college student, Tree Gelbman, who is murdered on the night of her birthday, but begins reliving the day repeatedly, at which point she sets out to find her killer and stop the death. Jason Blum serves as a producer through his Blumhouse Productions company. Happy Death Day grossed $55.7 million in the United States and Canada and $69 nice, $million in other territories for a worldwide total of $125.5 million against a production budget of only $4.8 million. So, like I said, you can do this for peanuts and you can make a profit. Trust me, you can make a good movie with not a whole lot. On Rotten Tomatoes, 71% of 157 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 6.5 or 6 out of 10. That doesn't sound positive, but anywho, the website's consensus reads, quote, Happy Death Day puts a darkly humorous sci-fi spin on the slasher conventions with an added edge courtesy of star-making performance by Jessica Rothe. And I got through that with almost not tongue-tying myself. So, the only person here, I'll go to you first. So we definitely didn't just watch this movie like less than an hour ago. So give me your thoughts for us, a refresher on this movie. So what do you think before we dive headfirst into this cupcake of death?
I mean, I really like this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. It has a lot of humor to it, which I like in my horror. I like a lot of humor in my horror. I think that it's just really fun and funny. I like the idea of a repeated day. I like Groundhog Day, so I like this movie. I like that they mentioned Groundhog Day in this movie also. I think that's just a nice nod to that. I have a lot of fun watching this movie. I think that it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I know I sound like a broken record when I constantly am like, yeah, this movie's fun. I mean, but truly, this is a pretty fun movie because again, it's not just a typical slasher horror movie. I mean, it does take itself pretty seriously. It does have some pretty brutal kills and even has some heart in there. Like, you know, it's kind of a story of somebody realizing like she's kind of just become a shitty person in this event of reliving this day and constantly dying at the end of it or at some point during the day. Kind of opens her eyes a little bit to, you know, the world around her and the people that she's affected. Like even some of the sorority sisters she's a part of, her own dad, and even how she treats Carter, who's kind of the first person we meet along this way. So yeah, and again, it's funny as hell sometimes. There's just, you know, what would you do if you just kept reliving the same day and dying constantly? I have there. I'd have that look on my face too. Honestly, I had the one where she looks a little more mad when she wakes up because it's like, God damn it, I woke up again in the same spot, dying for like the 16th time, I think, as she says. So yeah, it's a good spin on the genre, and it was definitely a fun movie for what it was. So let's what's the first as I sat here and didn't get a picture of the damn director, but that's okay. Got some pictures of Tree, I suppose. I don't know. Let's get her with the axe. How about that? So that's the director. Goddamn. So the works of Christopher Landon was the first bit. Of course, the director. He's done a lot of things that are kind of in this horror vein, to be honest. My Best Friend's Exorcism in 2022. Disturbia back in 07, which I think was Shia LaBeouf, I believe. Let's see what else. Paranormal Activity 2, 3, and 4. Next of Kin and Marked Ones. You know, that series that refused to die, basically. I'll say it. He also did Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, which is actually one of my favorites. It's kind of just a goofy, you know, it is what it sounds like. It's 3 friends who are Boy Scouts that experience a zombie apocalypse. Kind of, again, just raunchy comedy, kind of horror because it's zombies. So kind of in the same vein as this. So he's definitely got his vibe with that. And then, of course, Happy Death Days 1 and 2. And he also did that movie Drop, which I don't know. I didn't really seem interested in because the trailers annoy the hell out of me. But whatever. I don't want to hear a phone buzzing in my ear for 30 seconds too long. So what do you think of Christopher Landon, his works, and what he did with this movie?
I mean, I liked what he did with this movie. I don't really know any of the other works that he did. Besides the second of these movies, he did do the second one. But he
Hard Eyes. He wrote.
Hard Eyes.
He wrote Hard Eyes.
He wrote Hard Eyes, which I did enjoy that movie also a lot. That movie was really enjoyable to watch. But I liked the direction this movie went. You know, I did enjoy that. I enjoyed Hard Eyes. Those movies were kind of, this and Hard Eyes was actually kind of in a similar vein, actually, now that I think about it. Kind of funny, pretty gruesome. I liked both of them. You know, with Hard Eyes, you had those elements of humor and horror. With this movie, you had the elements of humor and horror. I don't know. I think now that I'm looking at this cupcake, the bloodiness of it, I feel like the blood viscosity was also the same in Hard Eyes as it was in this one. Just thinking about that too. I liked that movie, and I liked this movie.
Yeah, like I said, he's definitely kind of got that got that style down where he can have a pretty gruesome, bloody horror movie, but still, I mean, if it was a black comedy, it's like, yeah, it is kind of like dark humor. It is kind of like you're not really sure if you should be laughing, like, you know, if something happens to somebody in some goofy way, or there is just like straight up comedic parts that are just actually genuinely funny. Like the ending where, you know, just like, what are you doing? And she's like, Laurie ate my cupcake. And you're like, oh, after you just kicked her ass out of a third-story window. But, that kind of humor. So, yeah. And I definitely agree. And I can, like I said, I can say with certainty also, Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse is also one that definitely follows that same kind of vibe. Yeah, it's just silly, and it doesn't really take itself that seriously. Like I said, three friends that are scouts that team up with, like, the hot chick who's the bartender, who's the one who's actually pretty badass, given that she works in a seedy bar. So that one's definitely worth a watch. I would definitely be down to review that one, because again, that one hits close for me too, since I was in fact a scout, and I mean, I've never not been into zombies, even though if it is a dead genre, which, yes, I meant the pun completely. Anywho, let's go. I have pictures of one people at a time, but let's go with this one. Next is the cast. Not necessarily like a whole lot of people that, like, any big name actors, but that's not always a bad thing, because it's like it kind of makes it feel a little more believable that you have these people that you think you could run into just anywhere on a daily basis. So what do you think about this cast? Is there anybody that stands out to you in particular?
I think the actor who played Carter stood out to me. I really liked his character a lot. I think he plays the kind of shy college guy really well. I liked how he kind of just played that part. I mean, really well. It was very believable. We've all met that guy. We've all met that guy.
Hi.
Yeah, we've all met that guy before. Yeah,
and I didn't have to go to college to do it. So.
We've all met that sweetheart who's looking out for people, and I feel like he played that really well. Yeah, I liked his character too. I think that, I feel like that part came really naturally to that actor as well.
Yeah, it's fair. He's kind of her anchor point, really. I mean, since, to be fair, that is where she keeps resetting the day. She keeps waking up in his dorm room, like in his bed. So him being the first person that she keeps interacting with, and having to tell him over and over what happens. It is kind of a really sweet moment, like, when she dies she doesn't even realize it until she dies a number of times, and then tries to explain to him, like, so how do we deal with this? That, like, she doesn't know what happened. She just woke up, and all she knows is, oh yeah, I was wasted last night, and I just woke up here. And now with the added fact that I keep dying, but she didn't, like, really stop to think, like, wait, did we do anything? And he's like, no, like, you were wasted. I brought you home and let you go to sleep and sleep in. And she has that, like, oh, okay, green flags. And like how she's like snaps back out, like, okay, anywho, wait, so how do we yeah. Good guy, Carter. For me, I might take my free bingo space, because I'm like, I hate just obviously going with the main character, but I mean, I don't know how you don't pick Tree, because or Jessica Rothe. Like, I think I saw this, and to my knowledge, I think this is the first thing I ever saw her in, and I was like, yeah, she's got it. She's quirky. She's still got, she's got the edge, obviously, because she puts a knife to Officer Gonzalez's neck and takes his gun, which is this scene here, and just hunts down a serial killer, which you throw that into a mix of a movie that, like, it could be anybody. It could have even have been Carter. You don't know. It could be her roommate. It could be her sorority sister. It could be the doctor that she's, or / professor that she's cheating with, or he's cheating on his wife with her. But it's a whole mess. And then you throw a serial killer that's just happened to be in this town, in this hospital at the same time. It's like, dear Lord. But I mean, I think Jessica Rothe fucking nails it in this movie. If there's somebody who's on the up, I would definitely say it was her. So I'm taking my free pass and I'm saying the main character because I can. So yeah. Or I would say maybe his roommate Ryan, which I didn't get a picture of because he's hilarious. He comes in for like 30 seconds at a time, and that's his whole contribution. I'm trying so hard not to mention the sequel because I have words about that. Probably not nice words that will keep us on YouTube. So, anywho, so let's go back to this for the plot. So again, like I said, plot kind of a Groundhog Day murder mystery whodunit kind of thing. So yeah, she wakes up on her birthday in some guy's dorm room and gets back to her own room, and she runs into several people along the way, even somebody named Tim, who I could not get a good picture of Tim, which really sucks. Tim was just another guy that she had one date with to Subway, which is an odd choice, but to each his own. And yeah, then she stays in to goes to a party after a while, and then ends up getting killed by this guy. I know I have a picture of him somewhere, unless I didn't put it in here. No, I mean I've got this one of this creepy fucker in this baby face mask who just like is stalking her. And again, as soon as he kills her, then she wakes back up again, starts the day all over again. So, and until she figures out who it is, and she can kind of not reset the day, but get past that day, so to speak. I couldn't find a good picture of it either. There's a scene in the hospital, which it's like I feel like there was an idea there that they kind of didn't explore enough. That every time she dies and every time she comes back, she gets a little bit weaker. Like she's in the hospital and he's looking at her X-rays of like her chest, and he's like, "Yeah, with this much like scar tissue and like stuff in your chest, like technically speaking, you should be dead." And it's like, oh, that's an interesting point. Like, yeah, she's like, maybe I'm a cat with 9 lives, and how many more times am I gonna have to die before I can't do this anymore? So that's the basic plot. Does that plot work? Is there anything you would add, change, amend, put sticky notes on the board like Charlie Day?
Well, as I was sitting here, I was just thinking, when we figure out, I mean, this is a spoiler, of course.
I didn't spoil it.
I mean, this is when she does figure out who done it, there's still a serial killer who escapes.
True.
So what? I just realized, just sitting here, I just realized that there's still a serial killer that escapes. So something should be done about that. I just realized this. So there's a plot hole there, or something.
I might have an answer to that actually.
Okay, so you might have an answer, but that's just something I was thinking about while we were sitting here. But otherwise, the plot works for me. I love the plot of this movie. I think I love the repeating day. I love all of the different things that happen and how everything goes differently throughout the day each time it repeats. I love the day where she walks out naked. I think that's hilarious.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I where she walks out of the room, out of Carter's room, and just decides, screw it. There's no reason why not. I'm just gonna repeat this day again anyways. No one's gonna remember this. Why bother putting my clothes on? That day's hilarious to me. I feel like when we watched this, we were missing a scene, because I feel like I remember a scene that wasn't there, where she goes up. Was it it's Tim? Tim was the guy who she went on one date with, right? And she discovers later that he's gay, right? I feel like there was a scene missing where she just walks past him and goes, "You're gay." And I feel like we're missing that scene. Or is that a deleted scene? That scene was missing.
No, think that's in 2.
Oh, that's in 2.
I was thinking about that too. I was like,
is that in
2?
2?
That shit was
Okay.
Because that was a funny moment.
Okay.
She just walked in and father's like, dude, you're gay.
Okay.
Just walked past
Maybe
him.
that was in 2. Okay. I feel I'm mixing them up a bit. Okay. Anyways. So anyways, back to the plot. I liked how the plot worked through. And I enjoyed watching. I mean, it's fun to watch the same day over and over again when something different happens each day. It works for me. It works for me really well.
Yeah, like I said, it's trying to figure out a different angle of like, okay, what could I do differently? And it's like she doesn't really know how to, you have to like nail down who it is first, because at first she's like, when she's talking to Carter about like, okay, so who could it be? Like the first thing is they know that, oh, this is your birthday. He's like, well, who knows that it's your birthday? She's like, well, thanks to my sorority, everybody knows, so it could be anybody. I'm like, well, that doesn't help. He's like, so when you kind of think of like motives, like, who could it be? I'm like, again, I said it. I'm like, you don't really know. I'm like, it could have been Carter. You have no idea. Like, you don't realize till later. I think actually in this scene where he's like, tells her like, no, like, we didn't do anything. You came to me, you were drunk, I took you home. That was it. And then you got, we didn't get a picture of her yet, but Danielle, like her sorority sister, who, that's a good picture because that's the perfect resting bitch face on anybody. Yeah, she's like the mean girl of mean girls in this movie. So, and I think the point was that night before Tree had made out with somebody in front of Danielle that she liked, but according to her roommate, Danielle was also really drunk, so she probably didn't remember. But I mean, there's motive because she's always kind of a little bit jealous of Tree. There's, like I said, there's the doctor, who's also her professor, that she's been sleeping around with. So, there's motivation there from him or his wife. We don't really explore that angle again until 2, even though 2 is a whole different complication of like timelines and all kinds of whatnot. But there's him as well. And like I said, I got a decent picture of the serial killer. I'm like, yeah, there's straight up a serial killer. So that would seem, and his name is John Toombs, like, a tomb that you have dead people in. So I love that like obvious red herring in your face kind of thing, because you think it's him. Because I mean, you see her walk into his room like with the gun out, and he's there in the baby face mask. So you're kind of like, oh, cool. But unfortunately, I think Carter comes in to save her, and killer ends up snapping Carter's neck in half, and then like kills him. And Tree smacks this dude over the head, and then she realizes, oh shit, if this is correct and I kill him, this day doesn't reset, and Carter's still dead. It's like, oh. So she did a flip off of the tower, which was interesting. So then of course, I'm sorry, I'll ruin it for you. It was her roommate all along. Because then you come to find out her roommate was jealous of her sleeping with the doctor because, as you can tell, she's in her scrubs. She also works at the hospital. She's always just like, yeah, he just kept picking you over me. Like, and I kind of agree with Tree in that moment where she's like realizing it. She's like, I know I've been like a shitty friend and roommate, but you don't think this is going a little too far? Because that little cupcake right there's got some poison in it of some sort that she tries to give her. Because it sucks that like after they kill the serial killer, like in this scene here, her and Carter go back to her dorm, and she finally eats the cupcake, and she wakes back up again. Boom. She's like, what in the holy shit? Like, what? And she realizes, oh, I ate the cupcake and I died in my sleep. And then it clicks. She's like, oh, it's my fucking roommate. So I will address your plot hole. Remember, that didn't happen until the evening because Lori works at night. So when she didn't eat the cupcake in the morning, she went to work that night. And then remember, she released the tie downs, the straps that the serial killer had, and let him out at night. When she confronts her, that's still morning. Because remember, she goes right back to her dorm and realizes, oh, it was the cupcake. So no, there isn't a serial killer on the loose because he is still tied up in the bed. And that shootout happened that morning from the news statement, I think, if I remember. So yes, kind of. I mean, like that didn't happen until later. So she like undid the straps and let him out. So yes, there is still a serial killer out there, but I mean, I think he's where is he? I think Officer Gonzalez here has got it covered. At least I hope so. With how easily he got taken down by like 100-pound girl with a knife, but what are you gonna do? Oh look, it's us talking to ourselves. I'm sure that's Frank. Again, pulling double duty, representing us over on American Werewolves channel. So hello again. Yeah, it's a fun movie. It sucks that like that's the scene right there, like where she's just kind of genuinely happy. It's like that was the day where she actually thought, okay, I'm gonna do the right things. Like I'm going to, because when she walks out of that dorm room, like she passes by some girl who's signing petitions to stop global warming. She warns the couple that's making out on the lawn. The sprinklers come on. The guy who's like out there, they're singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall for like 26 hours straight, and the guy passes out. She takes a pillow out and she puts it under his head as soon as he falls over. She makes amends with her dad. And she again gets pretty close to Carter. And then goes full Rambo and kills the serial killer without getting anyone else injured. And then blows the candle out. And it's like, oh, that's a shitty way to find out that she did all the right things and tried to make everything make amends, and then still found out I was a roommate. Because I mean, kind of the nail in the coffin is when she's like, "Oh, you're like, would I really try to poison you with a cupcake?" And she's like, "All right, take a bite." And she just stands there like, "Yeah, well, you're crazy," Then she gets a great one-liner, tells her, "Eat it, bitch," shoves it in her face, and just drop kicks her out the third-story window in front of that poor girl who's just trying to listen to her music. I couldn't find a good picture when she pancaked on the ground, but I don't know. YouTube might get me for that. So yeah, it works for me. It's a pretty straightforward movie. And of course, even after all that, and Danielle's knocking on the door, like wondering what the commotion's about, and of course, Laurie's like, "Oh, tree fell over." It's like, whatever, you clumsy bitch. Just we got lunch later. And then, of course, when she asks her again, like, "Okay, what the hell are you doing?" And Tree's just sitting up against the window, like, "Oh, Laurie tried to eat my cupcake." And then she wakes up again in Carter's room, and it's like, no, seriously, what the hell? And of course, Carter's he's a dick. He does the same thing, and I'm glad you picked that for your line. Just every single time she wakes up, "Oh, hey, you're awake." She's like, "Motherfucker, seriously? What day is it?" He's like, "Oh yeah, it's Tuesday." Like, no, you totally did it. Dickhead. Funny guy's got jokes. And at least he's seen Groundhog Day, even though she hasn't. Which I feel like that maybe would have helped her a little bit. Hopefully, between I don't remember when 2 takes place. Is it the next day or no? I don't know. I don't really remember 2. Which actually look at that. I'm good. Segues into point 4, which is potential for a trilogy. So like I said, we've been talking about 2. I don't think this is an official post or anything, but maybe just wishful thinking. Wishful birthday thinking, I think. But I feel like 2 maybe deserves its own separate review, because I hate to say that 2 just really kind of dropped the ball. I didn't really like it. There's a piece of trivia about it that kind of helps explain like why I didn't like it. But there's a potential for 3. You've seen 2 with me. What do you think about making it a trilogy?
Not necessary. I'm trying to remember 2. The only thing I remember 2 is clearly the scene that I already described.
Yeah, she goes through it again.
Very memorable. That scene that I already described. Yeah. Because it was really fun. That scene was pretty funny. But I know she goes through that the day that was in this movie again. And I'm trying. I mean, 2 wasn't super memorable besides that one scene for me, because I'm trying to remember the plot of that movie, and it was not super memorable. There was some science in it. Mm-hmm. I remember there being some science. I remember there was a lot more people involved. Mm-hmm. And I'm not like the hugest movie buff, and I don't remember movies as well as these guys do. So if it's not super memorable to me, I remember movies that I like, and I clearly didn't like that second one very well because I'm having a hard time remembering much about it. So a third one, not necessary. I don't think. I don't think there needs to be a third one. The first one was great. I remember the first one, so I don't think there needs to be a third one.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo that same sentiment because this one does have kind of its own. I mean, I would say loop. I mean, it start and beginning. You figure out, what the whole problem was, who was trying to kill her, and she gets out of it, and it's like, okay. And I don't really need the phenomenon explained to me, like the reason why the Groundhog Day shit was happening. Pretty for the most part self-contained kind of story. It's the same day. She goes down the same path, wakes up in the same place, goes to her dorm, waits, goes to the party, ends up getting killed. And then she starts to tweak it a little bit where she tries to go different routes and figure out who it is. And yeah, no, I remember this one. I've seen this one multiple times, and again, I enjoy it every time. Two, like I said, I'm sorry that was a movie date of ours because you watch this one was so good, and you watch two, and I was like, I think you explained too much. I can't claim that I remember much of it, but I remember it expanded a little bit. It didn't actually follow Tree, so to speak. It started like you actually follow his roommate Ryan, like what he was doing. The clever way is like you see, because when he says like, I don't want to sleep in my car again, man. So it's him waking up in his car, him going through his little morning walk all the way up to, like in one shot up to the dorm room, like where you see in this movie, every time he knocks on the door, he's like, hey, did you hit that last night? And, and you come to find out it was like a science project. Some weird machine did. I feel like it made it too overly complicated because then I'm like, okay, but I don't know what you're trying to do. And now you're trying to explain to me this machine now does this. And I'm like, well, huh? And it was kind of like a Ghostbusters thing because I guess they were keeping the Bill Murray thing going where it's like the college campus was like, hey, you guys can't have this in here. Like, we're pulling your funding, we're taking your machine out of here. And of course, the machine is the reason that this is happening and why she keeps reliving the day again. And it was more, there was more. There was like the team behind it that was trying to help her. And it was like some really complicated process to like run the machine that she had to remember because every time she dies, and it's like she's the only one who remembers. She's not going to explain that to them every time, so she had to remember how it worked. I don't know.
And it kind of ruined the magic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, I don't need it really explained. I'm like, it's just the premise. You just go with. You just it just subvert expectations that like, okay, whatever. This is the goofy premise of it. And it, like I said, it takes itself seriously enough, but not enough to where it's like, yeah, obviously this wouldn't happen to somebody. You just kind of ruin, you ruin your magic by really overly explaining it. And the only thing that I remember the second one ending on was I don't remember how they did it in some weird game of tag. There was also more convoluted crap with like I remember like the doctor and the wife were like the serial killers now in this one, and now. And when I was looking up for pictures for this, it said like, oh, Dimension 1, Dimension 2. I'm like, oh, fuck. Now there's like two different trees and there's two different time. Oh, God. See, I know when Frank says like, I hate stuff like this, I'm like, I like stuff like this. And that even kind of upset me because I'm like, why is this like just getting more complicated than it needs to be? I don't know. It didn't make any sense. The thing in that one, I don't think it was Lori somehow. I don't know. But the end I remember is like somehow they, again, it ends with Danielle waking up screaming in her bed. And that was the end. I was like, okay, so it's on Danielle now for some reason? And that was the end of 2. I'm like, so then, yeah, what would you do with 3? Why wouldn't you still make it about Tree? I'm like, it is kind of a funny joke that they, passed the ball to Danielle. And now she's stuck in this loop. But I don't think I need that movie.
Yeah, I didn't understand like why we needed the why. I didn't need the why. No. Like I didn't need the reasoning behind why it was happening. Like we didn't need to explain it. like it was just happening. It would have been cool if the second movie would have just had it happening to maybe somebody else, or she got trapped in a different day, like she learned her lesson or something, and then something else happened where she got bad again and had to learn another lesson or something like that. Like it was just the universe trying to teach her a lesson. Like that could have been cool. Like I didn't need to know a scientific reason why it was happening. Like we didn't have to bring sci-fi into this universe. Like that's kind of my opinion of the second one. Like we didn't have to bring sci-fi into this.
Yeah, not so much. And she does say that as much, like when she's talking to Carter about like, she's like, you don't know me, like I'm a terrible person. I've been this way for the past 3 years. Because another point is that her mom shared the same birthday as her too, and her mom passed away 3 years prior, and ever since then she's just become kind of a terrible person. And she mentions that like to her dad. She's like, Dad, I'm so sorry. I've been, just ignoring it because I thought it would be easier, but it's not. It's not made things any better. He's like, she's like, I'm sorry. Like, I put you through this too. And because she says like, maybe this is just karma for some reason. Like, maybe I deserve what's happening to me right now. Because that's what I'm saying. Then she does the day where she tries to write, turn things around. And well, you still kind of learned it. She still didn't quite, figure out that it was her roommate. And I'm like, and that was it. You figure out it was a roommate, you undo the curse, and she still learned her lesson along the way. She still kind of got to being a better person in the end. And that was kind of it. I'm like, yeah, I don't need some sci-fi rigmarole machine which also was causing the blackout apparently. And that's what somehow messed up. I'm like, so now you had to explain why this machine messes up time and space and kept looping the day. I'm like, no, just take your silly premise. And it was smart. It was a very smart movie. This was done very well when you have a looping timeline like that. And I'm like, no, then I think you just over explain. I don't need an explanation behind every tree branch, as they say. So I don't know. It too kind of brings this one down, but it's like I've said we need to do a show like this where we have movies that have sequels, and we're like, okay, what do we consider like what we'd actually have as canon in this series? I'm like, I would just totally disregard 2 and just keep this one. Like I only ever watched the first Jaws movie. I've seen them all, but I only watched the first Jaws movie because I'm like, I can't stand 2. I can be okay with 2, but in essence, I'm like, no, start to finish, great fucking movie, Jaws, which I think we reviewed. Go watch that. I would even say I'm thinking like Twister now. I'm thinking of like classic movies like Twister. I didn't hate 2, I guess, but I was like, I didn't need it. Things like that. If we did like a series of like which movies we consider canon in stories. Oh look, we got our we got our cheerleader in the corner. Thanks, Frank. I wish I could be watching you guys and cheering you guys on, but I've got my hand on the controls. Yeah, I don't need a 3. I didn't need a 2 either. So the show is so exciting with just 2 people. Dear God. Because after that, that's the trivia. Which there's some decent trivias in here. So yeah, again, I'm kind of mad I couldn't find a picture of Tree, Jesus Christ. If I couldn't find a picture of Tree, we're really in trouble. Couldn't find a picture of Tim for this one. According to director Christopher Landon, Tree's punchline of "Who takes their first date to Subway? It's not like you have a foot long." The line was actually improvised by Jessica Rothe. I mean, pretty good. Like I said, she got the comedy chops. Okay. Yes. Surprised that wasn't first. All right, we gotta talk about it. The brisk walk, as I called it, for this picture. The scene where Tree walks through the campus quad naked had to be done quickly, given that it was filmed on an active college campus. This presented the risk of students witnessing the scene being filmed and or taking photos. The crew took extreme precautions to clear away any potential onlookers. And in the end, they managed to do it in just 2-3 takes. So, good on you guys. So, it's some of those times where I'm like, you better hope you don't figure it out that day, because I mean, yeah, then that still happened. Still canon. Okay, we have Frank over here. Yeah, I think I heard this while I was looking for stuff. The director was quoted as saying he's got ideas for a third, but nothing has been greenlit yet. Yeah, I think I've seen some stuff from Jessica Rothe where they're like, I think she's all in for it. But again, I was like, I just remember it ending with Danielle, so I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know how you would do this. Oh, was this first or Groundhog? Oh, definitely Groundhog Day. That was in like the 80s, I think. Yeah, it's just a nice little twinge at the end, like when they're in the cafe the next day after having figured it out, and Carter's like, you know what this reminds me of? Groundhog Day. She's like, I don't know what that is. She's like, with Bill Murray? It's like I feel like it was me talking to you. Like I said, I'm just Carter, I swear. He's like, you've never seen like Ghostbusters? Come on, like it's Bill Murray. I mean, you know.
Oh, I've seen Groundhog Day and Ghostbusters though, so don't get it twisted.
Okay, but I've had that conversation with you multiple times. What I'm saying, I'm like, have you seen this? No. How? Like, I don't know. And my ass has seen so many things that a lot of people haven't, so I don't know. So I spend a lot of my time with. Yeah, Groundhog Day was first. That was in I think the 80s at some point. Frank would know because he heard 80s. His ears are probably burning. He's gonna jump back in here, I'm sure. And no, I'm not gonna. I don't remember what year it is. Again, I don't remember every movie. I've got a pretty good idea. Okay, that one's done. Let's go back to. Honestly, I'll mention as an aside. This was my favorite kill because it's ridiculous. He's actually holding a broken bong, just a sharp glass he broke on the bed, and just stabbed her right in the neck with it. I'm like, okay, that's just goofy as hell. I love that. Anywho, the original mascot and mask designed by Tony Gardner for the killer was a pig, which, of course, as we know, was a motif already done by the Saw movies. So kind of wouldn't have, I guess, wouldn't have hit the same. Actually, I'm going to kind of segue into the next one because it's basically the same thing. The baby killer costume designed by Tony Gardner also designed the Ghostface mask, the horror icon of the Scream films, which is a reworked version of the Father Death's Halloween costume. So, I mean, this guy knows how to make some creepy killer masks. Although I'm pretty sure there was a thing about that mask that they got like in trouble for, that it was like actually a mascot's mask or something for like a university. It was like scary close to like theirs in the movie, and they're like, they reached out to them and were like, yeah, hey, that's like our thing. It, ironically enough, might be a bad look. I don't know. There was a whole thing about that. So yeah, gotta be careful. Oh, speaking of R ratings, I can do this because you'll see why in a second. The original script, written by Scott Lobdell, whose name I keep butchering, included material intending to make the film R-rated. Some scenes involved grislier death depictions that were altered for by the film's director, Christopher Landon. And I will say this is a PG-13 movie, and if you know anything about PG-13 movies, you get one F-bomb. You make it 2, and you got an R-rated movie. To be fair, this was where she dropped the F-bomb. She got a really bright idea of I have a picture of it somewhere. She's sneaking through the she's sneaking through the parking garage of the hospital, being chased by the killer, and she steals the doctor's car and just speeds out of there and speeds away from the killer. And it is kind of a euphoric moment of like, oh, holy shit, I did it! I got away from him. Like, fuck you! She's she's cheering on, and then whoop, whoop, there go the red and blue lights. She's like, oh, god damn it, no. Gets pulled over by the cop, and of course, it's again. I love how smart she starts to like figure shit out. She's like, wait a minute. If I tell you, like, if I was drunk, would you take me to jail and put me in a safe jailhouse? He's like, I love how confused the cop is. He's like, yeah, that's how this works. The cop was funny as hell. She's like, oh, I'm drunk. I'm high, dude. I'm on pills. Everything you can, anything. I'm on it, man. And he's like, okay, well, I have to arrest you then. She's like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Good, great. Let me help you. Like, put their hands behind her back. Like, she's like, oh, I got this. I'm gonna outplay this guy again. But unfortunately, she gets put in the back of the cop car, and I love she's like, hey, thanks. And of course, you can't get away with anything. This damn baby killer takes a car and runs the cop over. Now she's stuck, handcuffed in the back of the car, which is now leaking fuel. He lights off that trail, and right before he gets the car, she's like, fuck! And the car blows up. Again, good use of your one F-bomb. I always appreciate when you put it in like the right moment to still keep it PG-13. Because that was pretty goddamn funny. And it had a cool transition shot of like it's her still laying in bed, and like the flame is like from the car in her eyes, and it zooms out, and it's her in bed again. She's like, you know, here we go again. That was pretty fun. Let's go back. Already used it, but screw it. I'll use this one again. Although she's portraying a college student in the film, Jessica Rothe was actually 30 years old at this time. So, you know, keeping up that trope of, well, like in Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire, like those people are all 30 years old, and you're not going to tell me those are high schoolers. There's no way in hell. But I mean, it's convincing. She got a young enough looking face. You can believe she's a college student. Yeah, it works for me.
She looks good for 30.
Yeah, no shit. I think we saw how good she looked for being 30. And again, every time she wakes up and, you know, changing her clothes out from, I think she was in her underwear and like one of Carter's like baseball tees, and then, you know, swaps out to her outfit she had the night before. But yeah, hell yeah. Like I said, she got it going. Okay, first, oh, sweet. So I'm glad I got, oh crap, that's a message for Frank. Apparently Rumble just shit itself, so it ended or deleted on Rumble, so that's my cry for help. I don't know what to do about that. What was I? Oh, right. I'm glad I got this picture, actually. Stop telling me Rumble. I know that. Go away. Okay, so there are two clues in the film to the murderer's identity. First, on the day when Laurie sees Tree entering the hospital, Laurie tells her that the affair with Gregory is, quote, bound to have some pretty serious consequences. Second, in the loop where Tree dies in the burning police car, the murderer uses a birthday candle, just like the one on top of Laurie's cupcake, to light the car's leaking fuel tank. So, yeah, this little, like I said, this little thing, you know, drops, boom, car explosion. Which, I get a good picture of the cake. It's a red candle. That's a red candle, whatever. I mean, you get the point. It's a birthday candle, so who else has one? It's a visual cue. Gosh. I'll use this one because I'm pretty sure this is actually from part 2, but I don't care. It works. An explanation for why Tree got stuck in the time loop in the first place is never actually given. Director Christopher Landon mentioned that if he would ever got the chance to direct a sequel, he would explain it then and there, but not in this movie. He's quoted saying, "I knew that it would mean it would be a character delivering some kind of a boring speech, and it would have to be some kind of explosion that I don't think anybody wanted to hear." And as we've said a few times here, Landon kept his word when the sequel, Happy Death Day to You. So, I don't know. Like, if this was like, you know, your thing, I don't know if he wrote it too or had any other than directing it, but like, I guess you had a good, well-rounded movie with this, and I'm like, I think you went too far trying to like explain it, and it got really over it. It was interesting to follow, but like it was just like I don't think we need now. There's apparently 2 different like time loops of them now. I don't know. I think it just made it too complicated. I don't think it needed to be that. I don't know what I would have done for a sequel, but just not try to. Oh, okay. I'll just sweep that under the rug, and maybe I'll start to stream over as a joke, and just we'll do it again. Goody. Glad he's paying attention, because I'm kind of not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't need explanations, man.
Yeah, the sequel was an unnecessary amount of science. It was too much science. I didn't need science fiction in my horror movie. I would like horror and comedy in my horror comedy, not science fiction in my horror comedy. I came to see horror comedy, not science fiction.
Yeah, it was just kind of like an otherworldly, just the universe conspiring against her is what it kind of seemed to be. So, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Simple as that. I thought when it started, I thought like, okay, that is an interesting premise. That I'm like, okay, so now we've expanded to like his roommate Ryan and like his team of people that made this machine that on the other side of campus he was doing, and that's what caused it. I'm like, okay, interesting. But then I was like, and then it got way too complicated and just overly explained. I was like, no, because I'm like, I have more questions than I have answers. I might watch 2 again to maybe see if I don't remember everything about it. But I still was just like, I still want to remember, because I'm also curious, like, how did we get to, again, we tagged Danielle in now for the time loop. So I don't know. Because I think it started going to alternate dimensions too. Like I remember now, like one of them was like Carter and like Danielle were dating in one loop or something. I was like, wait, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So, and like I said, Lori's in it, so she didn't end up killing her like she did in the first movie. So, and like I said, the doctor and the wife were now like a team killing. I don't know. It was make one time again. Make one timeline and make alternates. Don't make don't make the first movie just kind of seem irrelevant. Okay, what's the okay, so we didn't actually watch the kill count yet. It's actually sitting out there right now. Because Frank likes to do this because he hates me for some reason. So we have a body count, which I don't know where it came from, and I don't really care. But do you want to take a stab? I'll put an over under at 20. Now the problem is Tree's deaths do count. So over under at 20. What do you think?
I don't know. Over under 20. How many times did she live that day over?
Like how many times she died?
I'm trying to think of how many times that day went.
Like 20, and she died like 18 of them or something.
I'm like, how many times? Like, I'm gonna go.
I think it's 25.
I'm gonna go under 20. I'm gonna go under 20.
With what?
With 18.
Well, I guess since I'm sitting here reading, it's not really fair. But even though Frank made the notes, he says over with 25. Actually, you were the closest. It was 19. So you were pretty damn close. Okay, according to this, the body count was 19. I'm glad it comes right out of the gate and says Tree dies 10 times on screen. Nick, Danielle, Carter, Gregory, Officer, that's not his name. Officer Gonzalez. That's okay. The nurse Dina, Toombs guard. Oh, that's the cop that gets run over. Sorry. Officer Santora, Toombs guard, who is Gonzalez, the nurse, Toombs himself, and Lori die one time each. Although it is not shown on screen, this would be wait. Wait a minute. Although not shown on screen, this should be 26, with Carter presumably dying a second time after sharing the poison cupcake. Oh, with Tree, that's true. In the last loop. See, now you're like, well, but then she said, like, yeah. And the cop's like, this really sucks. And she's like, yeah, so does dying 16 times. I'm like, okay, just because she said that doesn't mean it's just a joke. So according to her dialogue, she technically dies 16 times, although they're not all seen, which I'm sure we probably didn't see every time she died. But in the end, the body count's actually only one because Lori died. Whoever made this.
But wait, so if the off screen, if we assume that Carter didn't share the cupcake, am I actually right with 18? Am I actually right with 18? Because if I just guessed that off the top of my head, I'm a god.
Hold on. Well, hold on. So I'm okay. I'm gonna read the first line of that, and the rest of it could fuck off. Okay, so I was gonna say, work your way backwards. So if she died 10 times, okay, so we saw Carter get killed by the serial killer. We saw Toombs die. We saw Lori die. I don't think we technically saw what was the girl Becky, because she smacked her with a bat. She was trying to shake her awake. I'm like, I don't know if she died, but there was also Becky, which I don't know if he put Becky in there. No, you didn't. So look at that.
We're at 13.
The guard, Gonzalez dies. The nurse dies. The cop dies. Yeah, and then she dies 10 times. Danielle. Wait, when did Danielle die? Oh, Danielle got ran over by the bus. Right. Gregory died because he got stabbed, the doctor. Nick. Who was Nick? Nick was the guy in the dorm room. The guy that tried to sleep with her the first time. So, yeah.
That was 19.
Okay.
That was 19 that you just said.
Okay.
So 19.
You're still closer.
That's crazy. I can't believe I was that close with just a random guess. I wasn't counting at all. That's crazy.
I was gonna say, like, I got it. I was like, think about who died, like, at least once. Each of them died at least once, and then like count back up to, like, I don't know. You think, did she die like 10 times? Probably. I don't know. But I love how it's like, well, she said this, but also really, since it only happened the one day, start to finish, and only Lori died because you kicked her out of the window. I don't know. Do you count the victims that were on the screen that obviously the serial killer killed? There was like 6 or was it 8 or 6 women that he killed off screen. If you want to be like, oh, well, Carter probably ate the cupcake off screen. Whoever's drooling on her fucking shoulder riding these, I'm gonna smack you across the mouth. Okay, apparently Frank doesn't remember what he puts in the notes, so okay, fair enough.
I wonder what the kill count says.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know, and I get made fun of for. I know. And I'm curious to see how he does that, because like you have someone who dies constantly in a movie over and over. So I'll go with James A. Janice because he is him and Chelsea are the god of all things death and horror. So on YouTube, so I'll go with that. Not what some twat wrote on Wikipedia who is trying to be technical about it. So yeah, that's the movie. So do you have final thoughts, comments, concerns, whatever about this movie? And would you give it a recommend?
I would definitely recommend this movie. This movie's a lot of fun to watch. It's funny. It's horror. It's got a lot of good moments. It's got a lot of heart too. I feel like. Mm-hmm. I think it's a lot of fun to watch. If you're looking for something to just sit down and laugh at, and also have a little feels, I think it's good. I definitely recommend it.
Yep, I would definitely recommend it. It's it was on Hulu there for a hot second, but now it's on something else that I don't know what streaming service it is. But again, easiest way is just Google a movie, usually one of the first things that pops up. It'll tell you where it's at, even behind paywalls. This is on Amazon Prime. You can rent it for like $3.50. You know, it's worth it. I mean, like I said, like we said, it's a fun movie. It's got humor, even some dark humor, but like I said, some touching moments, like when she just sits down with her dad and kind of has like a heart to heart. You get like the story with with her mom. Actually, now that I'm remembering, I'm like, wait, wasn't her mom in the sequel? Because like she did something to like change it, like where her mom was still alive, and it was kind of like, well, no, you died, and that's kind of part of the story. Like, yeah, I'm not the same person because she, if she hadn't died, I swear, I think the mom was even. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wait a minute, we're doing too much here with two. If you want to watch two, to be a purist, whatever, watch two. Like I said, you're never gonna be mad that you watched a movie. I was like, I'll watch it again to maybe see if I can suss out like what was really going on. But yeah, as for this one, as a pretty well-rounded start to finish kind of who done it Groundhog Day type thing. Oh yeah, definitely a fun movie. So it's definitely worth your time. What else was it? So this is where I need Frank. I need an adult. But I guess I can go to you first. Where do people find you? What do you do on the internet?
So right now it is haunt season. We are haunting. Woo. We are haunting. Yes, as you can see. So you can find me on TikTok. I am Tin Septum on TikTok. I post TikToks of my makeup that I do for the haunt season, and I live stream the process on Saturdays. If you're interested in that kind of thing, I do spooky makeup. So if you're interested in that, come check that out. I'm also on Twitter as Tin Septum as well. You can follow me there. I don't really do much there, but I'm there. I may get back into streaming gaming at some point on Twitch. I'm there as Tin Septum as well. That's where I am. That's what I do.
You're just lazy like me. I'm like, I should do gaming, and then I just don't because the joke just keeps writing itself. I think I've been saying that I wanted to do that since like, I don't know, 2014. So I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll stop being so damn lazy. I had a weird brainwave the other day that I was like, maybe I should do this with some of my friends. Like, that you guys saw Jasper the other day doing a Fallout with me. Like him, he'd be one of them. I don't think I've had my other friend on here before, but three of us have been together, been friends like since second grade. So a lot of dumb shenanigans.
Wasn't he on the anime stream?
Actually, you might have been.
I think he was on the anime stream.
Yeah, I think so. The one that like popped off, and I'm like, we're not an anime channel, guys. Like, I get it. That is a big. I swear, cons have just become fucking anime, and I'm like, there are anime cons, guys. You know that, right? Like, Jesus, I'm not mad. It's cool. I'm glad that people do that. They dress up like their favorite anime characters. There's a lot, but I go to cons and I'm like, I don't know who any of these motherfuckers are. There could be ones that I know, like obvious, that are like Goku, Naruto, Death Note. There was some cool Death Note ones I saw once. At the time I'm fucking lost. And again, cosplayers are really really clever sometimes. So like you might take an anime one and like make some like joke out of it or make like a pun like you do. Like, and I'm like, I really have no idea what we're doing. And that was my bad segue into yeah, I'm also again, I'm in haunt season. So yeah, just doing spooky stuff, and I've added a little bit to my act. I might start messing with people, flipping a life or death coin like I'm Two-Face from Batman or something. Start screwing with them. I may have to add like a disclaimer, like this may or may not be true. You may or may not die in like 2 hours. I don't know. That's a line from Bobbins the Clown, who's also a great haunt actor. But yeah, doing that, and I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll actually do some gaming stuff. Like I said, I have friends that like there's plenty of shenanigans to be had because we're just dumb individuals sometimes when we play games. So maybe, I don't know. I might still do my own thing because there's single player games that I've wanted to get into. yeah, like I said, check her out. You may even see me in the background being. I might walk through her live stream because she does better makeup than me. Because I just put contacts in, put horns in my face, and act like an asshole. So she's not really different than any other day, just minus the horns. So yeah, and like I said before, and like Frank's saying, she's in the description. A lot of good people down there. Like I said, American Werewolf, even Brooding Gamer, who's been in and out of here a few times. If you like Jurassic Park, if you like Haunted Mansion stuff, he's got stuff going on. You'll probably even see us there on his channel because there's a joke that he wants to do. He wants to do like a low budget Jurassic Park film. So you'll definitely probably see me again as Ian Malcolm. A really low budget, like behind the scenes of like Jurassic Park. It's just, trust me, it'll be funny. Yeah, and I don't know what we're doing Tuesday. I think one battle after another comes out this weekend. I want to see it because I mean, I don't know, it looks interesting. It's Leonardo DiCaprio, so that's a possibility. And as for Thursday, I don't know because I didn't think that far ahead because it doesn't hit me till about like Monday what to do. So I think we're into October at that point, actually, right? Yeah, we're into October by next Thursday, so maybe we'll start getting to a little more spooky stuff. Like I said, this is a nice little segue in between, so yeah, kind of comedy horror, a little bit easier for people. Hey, maybe we'll do Scout's Guide because I've been sitting here. I'm still this whole time thinking about Scout's Guide because it's such a dumb, goofy movie. I think you would enjoy it, and like I said, it hits for me because I was also a scout and I like zombie stuff. So, and you'll see. I'm like all three of those scouts. Like my personality is like all three of those scouts combined, which is a really weird thing to say. But trust me, I'm like all three of them. So yeah, well, let me get the thing back up. Yeah, so we'll see you guys Tuesday. And I don't want to say be good people like James, but he says it best. So yeah. Go out there and do some spooky stuff, guys. There's plenty of stuff to do. Fall is actually officially here now.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.